3, 2, 1.
You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. This is Hunter, and I've got one of my best friends here on loan from the KJ and OJ show, which you can go ahead and check out on SoundCloud. They're quite wonderful. Got OJ here. OJ, how are you, sir?
I'm well, man. And yourself?
I'm great because we're gonna have fun reviewing this movie. So
I hope.
we are gonna talk about Creed 2, not this review. Sorry, that'll be the good review. So I told OJ, I'm like, hey man, I'll treat you to a day in the movies. Help me on these reviews. And I was like, Creed 2, we'll go see that. He's like, oh, okay, awesome. He's like, are we seeing anything else? I'm like, well, Creed 2 is kind of the hook. So if you're going to see Creed 2 with me, I'm treating you, then you have to see Robin Hood with me. And he was like, because I showed you the trailer and you went, oh, this does not look good.
Yeah. That kind of looked like one of those... Oh man, I don't even know. Like, it dripped of cheese.
That's a very good way to put it. And
it really did.
what we can say about the movie is it didn't meet your expectations, or probably exceeded them, honestly.
I mean, that depends on your point of view. I mean, for what I expected it to be, I guess you could say my expectations were exceeded.
Yeah. So, I mean, we talk about a lot of bad movies on the podcast, and I gotta be honest, this was quite awful at points. Like, we're sitting there, and there's maybe, 9 people in theater? Maybe?
About that.
This is like 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, so, really shows last movie's lost them, I believe, $100 million already.
Oh, that does not surprise me.
Yeah, Lionsgate's having a rough year with not a good way to end start your Christmas.
That's like a nut shot right there. Just like a pow, hey, there you go.
Yeah, and right before the holidays, it was over $100 million, so this will cost them some money, and I will say, they do set up for a sequel, and I was laughing. I was like, no one's seeing the sequel. like someone probably lost their job over this. This was like Monster Trucks bad. I was like, ooh.
Right.
Like someone clearly greenlit this when they shouldn't have. They made a Robin Hood movie in 2008 with Russell Crowe and Ridley Scott teaming back up, and no one cared about that. So I was like, no one's gonna care about Taron Egerton, who I like. I think he's really good in the Kingsman movies. It's funny, we were just talking about off mic. You were saying, yeah, this is my first impression of him. Really don't want to see those Kingsman movies.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. Like, I hadn't seen really anything with this kid until Robin Hood, and yeah, I was interested in Kingsman, but man, this kid sucks. Man.
Yeah. So as far as the plot, so what I will say, and I made the joke after we got out of the movie, or also credits roll, and I went, somehow, maybe Jonathan Nolan was out for a night on the town or something like that, and they were celebrating, hey, Dark Knight's getting made. And he accidentally dropped his first script, and it, blew off in the wind, and it landed in, that someone at Lionsgate, he said, hey, let's make the Dark Knight but with Robin Hood, because people want that, right? It's like, and then that person went to CW and made Arrow.
Pretty much.
I was like, I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong, because this movie can't decide what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And it's either Dark Knight, Arrow, or
war film, too.
Or war film at the same time, yeah. Like, God. The substance is just that bad. The actors do what they can to salvage it.
There's a couple actors that we actually did enjoy, but the thing about this movie, so when a movie starts off by going, you think you know the legend, but forget everything you know, I go, oh, this is not a good, because basically what that translates to me is, this is about to be some bullshit. And we want you to forgive us ahead of time.
You're not wrong, man.
Yeah, like when I heard that, I went, ooh, I got a bad feeling about it.
Right? That's the closest that it would get to Star Wars, despite how hard it tried. Because it really tries.
It did try to be.
I mean, the villain. I mean, the Sheriff of Nottingham. The actor I like a lot in general.
Yeah, no,
And-
he was good. Ben, I can never remember how you say it. Middleton. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, him being the Sheriff of Nottingham, I was like, okay. I'm like, that's a good casting choice. And there's some scenes with him. I went, okay, he's actually pretty menacing. And the dialogue he's given with almost like 90% of other actors would come across hokey or mustache twirling, but he makes it work to his credit. I went, okay, he's the one thing I'm kind of going, oh, when he's on screen, this isn't complete total poo. But
It's true. I mean, the broomstick
yeah,
scene alone, that alone is that's some intense shit right there.
yeah, it is. So basically, the plot of this plot. So Robin Hood. So Robin, he's living with Maid Marian at the time. By the way, they don't really tell you how they get together. Really, it just kind of happens. I went, all right, you could have.
She was the thief that.
Yeah.
She was gonna steal his horses.
But even like the montage they gave, I was like, I don't feel like they love each other at all. Like they
Right.
just kind of went, they're together. Fuck you. It's like, okay, fine. So they're living together. And Robin gets drafted for
Vietnam.
yeah. So, oh man. So I will say, as someone who has not been very kind to President Trump on this podcast, the Watergate and Trump comparisons. Oh, like, damn! I was like, this movie is Triple H. Who's hitting me with a sledgehammer over the head with these fucking is like Iraq, Vietnam. It's like, yes, I get it. Damn, like, can you like back off? Yes, it was fucking horrible, but maybe not as horrible as this movie.
And this movie's horrible.
But so Robin gets drafted, and they're in a war against
The Moors over in Persia, I believe.
I think so. So they're over there, and
on the Crusades.
yeah, and yeah. By the way, the timelines on this, as far as like history, I went. This doesn't. I was like, okay, it's the Crusades, but there's automatic arrow firers. Apparently, I went. Oh, so it's a bunch of Hawkeyes fighting a bunch of Hawkeyes, basically. You're mad he wasn't in Infinity War? Watch Robin, because that really is what it is. I mean, because. And the thing is, these arrows will do whatever they need to. Like, oh, it can go through a giant like slab of wood, and it can pierce armor. But the arrows don't look that sharp, so I mean, they might as well be like Nerf arrows go through armor. Just like, yep, goes through armor. All right, armor plating. Fuck that.
Right. Oh,
You know,
God.
like okay, but so Robin's over in Persia or whatever, and Little John.
Yeah.
Little John.
It ends up being Little John.
Played by Jamie Foxx. His son gets executed in front of him, which I will say that was one scene I went, okay, that actually came across a little brutal. I'll give him that. So Robin actually tries to stop him because his head in charge, just grade A asshole from jump. There's no point where you don't go, I wonder if he'll come back around at some point.
Hear that? That's the sound of my head scratching.
Exactly. But Robin tries to save Little John's son. So by a very random coincidence, to be sure, 4 years later, they just happen to like literally bump into each other, and he goes, "I'm picking you because you tried to save my son." And Little John was a master, arrow person, archer or whatever. Which I will say, Little John losing his hand, I went, oh, okay, that was brutal, and I kind of appreciate that. To be honest, I at least gave it some consequence.
Agreed.
So then we get into the montage where Little John teaches.
Montage.
We gonna need a montage. but then Little John goes ahead and it gets more into Robin Hood proper to an extent as far as them getting trained and everything. What I will say is this. This movie's all over the fucking place. As we said, it's a Vietnam. Vietnam was bad. It's a Dark Knight film. It's a film about high taxes. Like they hammer home the Trump comparison. Like I said, I am no Trump fan. Even I went shit. Okay, like easy. Like I get it. Okay, you don't.
Whoa.
Yeah, easy, Wilbur. But what I will say is, Taron Egerton, man. I think he's great in those Kingsman movies. He felt like he was phoning it in so much in this movie. Just like, I'll be charming and I'll deliver my lines just however I want because I'm Tyrone.
Yeah.
I mean, you never cheer for Robin Hood. I was sitting there and I went, I don't really care if you win or fail. I was more invested in the guy who played a Friar Truck. That'd be that's his brother, Friar Truck. There's smoke. We need that Friar Truck. but Tim Machin is his name. He was actually, I thought, charming in the role as Friar Truck. Friar Tuck, damn it!
Yeah, man, I agree. He's kind of like your narrator in this bit.
Yeah.
You know? And
the comic relief a little bit, too.
yeah, exactly. But he does a really good job with what he's given. His charm definitely does not hurt it at all.
Yeah.
And that's how you know he's got some quality behind him for what he's doing with some real garbage. So
there's a scene with him and the sheriff where the sheriff basically goes, "If you, I think it's when the cardinal ends up showing up."
Yep.
And he basically says, "If you ever talk back to me again in front of him, I'm gonna fuck you. I'll end you," basically. And Friar Tuck. There we go.
Tuck and A.
Yeah, Tuck and A. The fear he shows in that, but also that motherfucker, I'm working on something, I'm gonna keep that. like he was really good. And then when he actually first meets Robin, I went, that was actually a cool scene. So so I think what's frustrating about this movie is that there are pockets where I went, that was good, okay. The girl who plays, so OJ will attest to this. I don't usually gawk like this at actresses in a movie, but Eve Houston, who played Maid Marian, pardon me. Oh my gosh, she's a goddess. I was like, holy shit, okay.
Yeah, she's definitely gorgeous.
And she's kind of doing that, so how do I put this? I don't know if she's charming or if everything else is so bad when she was better than Robin. I went, okay, thank God, because she's doing kind of what they do in Disney live action movies. Like she's cute, but she's feisty too. It's
right. She's plucky.
Yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, that's a good word for it. So I actually thought she had some charisma. It'd be interesting to see her with a script, because she could end up being. Because she could be something like, she could be like Brie Larson, or she could be Megan Fox.
She had some real difficult lines to deliver that totally knock this film down notches. Like in the heat of the battle, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said, but oh my God, it was something ridiculous about like who he was and like who the person really is, or really is.
Well, when she was talking about like what you're doing is important. You inspire the people. I went, okay. OJ is a witness. I cringed in my chair. Yeah. I was like, oh, honey, I know this isn't you.
Yep. It's so true. It's so true.
Oh man, yeah, she had some real sappy love lines. It got a little Twilight-ish at points as far as their.
It did, and Jamie Foxx did really good for that role. Better than I thought he would.
I agree with that.
Because the trailers, I was like, ooh, Jamie, oh man, I'm excited to see Jamie Foxx and Spawn. So I was intrigued by this at least a little bit, and then he really did much better with it than I expected. So
there's a scene with him, the sheriff of Nottingham, where he's captured near the end of the movie.
Yeah,
and he tells him I'm gonna be there when you die. Yep. And what's the line, Sheriff Knight? I think he says I'm gonna boil you in piss.
Yeah, I was your own piss.
I was like, Jesus. I was like, okay, damn, easy here. But yeah. Oh, dude, the sheriff was not fucking around in this movie. I was like, yeah. And I appreciate that because it did actually give a sense of urgency of, he will fuck this town up. There's a point where he's talking to Robin. So Robin. And he goes, I will show this town, who wields the power, or something like that. It was almost Thanos-ish, to be completely honest. I went, oh, okay, shit. So getting back to it, this is Dark Knight. This is the Dark Knight, because he has a secret identity, Batman. He has to go ahead and be Robin Wayne and go ahead and infiltrate the higher class, Which, by the way, they say that Robin like comes from money. It seems like, but
Because he's a lord.
but they don't. But they don't like. It seems like that just never really factors in, except when it needs to.
Right, exactly.
like no one treats him like a lord. It's like it's just known, I guess, that he's a lord, and everyone just kind of goes
He's
whatever.
a property owner or something.
Yeah.
Like that. Like so.
But it's vague to say the least because they don't really explain why that is, and I was irritated by that, to be completely honest. And so yeah, it's there's a point where hell, right down to a point where him and Marion are in trouble, and she goes, you know, like Robin Hood isn't the mask. Robin of Locksley is the mask. Like, this has always been you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's the kind of crap I was talking about.
I was like, all right, movie.
Come on now.
Let's reel it back. So I want to talk about the fact that Christian Grey was in this, which, oh my god, see.
Oh, is that? Because I haven't seen those movies.
Will Scarlet, yeah, Jamie Dornan, the guy with the shaved head.
Yeah,
that's Christian Grey. So it was funny to see him in two movies. I think 50 Shades Freed was this year. Yeah, God, that was this year. God, I hate that movie. But that was it was funny to see him in what will be two of my top 10 worst stuff movies because he is just horrible in this. Him and Miriam are together. So Robin was gone for 4 years, fighting the war, and so when he comes back, she's with Will, and there is no point, not just because of the movie doesn't sell it, but there's no point that you buy that A, they're happy together, and B, that this will last. Because the moment she shows any sort of thinking for herself, he turns into Christian Grey. Basically goes like, what? You're not allowed to think for yourself? Like, wait, and you've been with this guy for 4 years?
Right.
And the movie just kind of goes, yep, they're supposed to be together. And, of course, the point where Marion and Robin Hood are alone together in conflict, they kiss. And, of course, he turns the corner and sees them kiss. And he's so filled with rage that he takes
lightning behind him.
Yeah. He's so filled with rage that he turns into Two-Face. So I always say full spoilers on this. So full spoilers right now because we're getting to the end of this movie. So Robin, of course, unites the people and they go ahead and fight the sheriff and the sheriff of Nottingham, right? So near the end of the movie, they have those cocktails, which I went. They had gasoline back in the Crusades.
So I just gotta say that real quick. With whatever they're laying down in the ground, like in more than one point during these action scenes, that liquid that they use for fire, that burns way higher than gasoline normally does. Like, what is this magic fire liquid you have? Like, this shit is like super flammable.
Yeah, well, you didn't see the can they're using. It had an Acme logo on the side.
oh, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, that's why it's super gasoline silly. But yeah, it burns. It burns like a wrestler's entrance. I went, holy crap, okay.
And that thing they do with the shields to push it away, that was, oh my god, that was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So one of my peeves...
Oh god, that movie.
So one of my peeves in films is when people jump through windows and they'll get cut, right? That's a huge peeve of mine. It has been replaced with people jumping through fire and not being burned. Because people are jump through fire in very heavy things that would burn very quickly. You just emerging through the flames, no big deal. Because Crusades, you know?
Because Crusades. I love how in the big climax fight scene, like, they use so much slow motion. Like, at one point they're doing the slow-mo looking, like, real up close to the crowd, and somebody's, like, giving a fiery drop kick to somebody else in armor. And it's all, like, right there slowly. Like, oh, shit, that's happening.
Well, no, remember, he drop kicks the guy's shield, and, like, 5 guys fall back because of one drop kick. It was, like dominoes. I was like, okay. So... at the end of the movie, they end up killing the Sheriff of Nottingham, which I will say the way they kill him, that was actually clever and pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And then Will Scarlet, he gets knocked down fighting and using the super gasoline. His face is laid down on one side. And I looked over at you. I told him, I was like, oh my god, they're about to Two-Face him. Because sitting there, there's a point... the point you get to in the movie through the montage and bad dialogue and the slow mo, which made this movie about 20 minutes longer than it needed to be. They could have been done with this in 90 minutes flat,
Easy.
but the slow mo you cannot do. Zack Snyder would even say this is way too much slow mo, guys. Like, wrap it up. Max Payne would be like, I don't use bolt time this much. Like, yeah, this movie. Oh my god, the slow mo is insane. But there's a point where Will's laying on his face and whisper over to OJ, "Oh my god, they're about to two-face him," and the super gasoline gets lit by some random fire. Like I think a guy gets knocked backwards, goes like, "Oh," and it's torch or something, lights everything. So one side of Will's face gets burned. So Robin and all the people from Nottingham, they escape into the woods, which I will say, as a Robin Hood fan, I did think that was actually a clever way to get them there. I went, okay, I'll at least give you that. But then the next scene, with another hilarious voiceover, he goes, fate is never wrong. Fate is always correct. It's like when one story ends, another one begins. I was like, oh, like wink, wink, sequel, wink, wink, sequel.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, and you see Will, and he's the new sheriff of Nottingham, and it's like, da, da, da. or the lady say, da, da, da. It's like, and I just went, oh, Jesus Christ, really?
Yeah.
And so that was the first facepalm I had for the movie, because that's what you couldn't help yourself. It's like, no, don't worry, we'll be back. Hey, I saw box office numbers. No, you won't.
Dude, there were so many facepalm moments.
Dude.
The shit they did with the horses running straight through walls.
Okay, so I will say,
And they did it more than once.
I've been watching you play Red Dead Redemption, and the horses in Red Dead look better than the horses in this movie. Number one, because anytime a horse has to jump over something, because you don't want to. You want to hurt an actual horse, especially for this bullshit. You don't want to hurt an actual horse. So whenever a horse jumps, it turns into like Sleepy Hollow. I was like, it's the horse. I just like CG. And it's such bad CG too. I remember that Fox show Sleepy Hollow. The horses look better on that when the horse won't show up. But
the rhinos in Black Panther look better than the horses.
Dude, they did. And at least there's only one bad rhino on that. The horses in this, anytime. So there's a point Robin Hood and Lil Jon, they're getting chased, and this horse. The only thing missing is if they cut to the horse and the horse starts panting faster, like, I'm gonna break through this, and the horse just jumps through a wall like it's nothing. And then on top of that, the guard's horses stop. They're like, oh, there's a giant hole. Fuck that. We're smarter than the other horses. And I'm just sitting there thinking, good God, no one edited this. Someone read the script and just went, sure, let's push it through. It's astounding how dumb this movie is at points. There's a point where Robin Hood's getting chased on top of these abandoned houses, and this horse, man, this is like Super Horse. This horse was jumping. This horse was jumping from Mario from rooftop, like Mario.
It really was, man.
Like rooftop to rooftop. No slipping, by the way, even though the giant fucking horse jumping on the rooftops. This horse is just like, yep, I got it. The
horse would never even try that.
No. The horse.
It's like a True Lies.
Yeah.
The horse in True Lies is like, no, fuck this. It's the brakes on.
And dude, that horse would buck you off before a horse jump. I will say, in closing, wrapping this up, the guy who did the sound editor for this, did a great job of sound editing. The arrows sounded like guns, which whatever, I guess. But the actual sounds they use, I went, okay, this is effective. It's anytime an arrow hit a wall, by the way, that wall exploded. Like if you were a wall in this movie, you better watch out because arrows, hooves, people randomly punching walls. Like, damn, like everyone hates walls in this movie. But
Right.
yeah, I will say one of the lines that I actually did write down because I thought it was one of the best lines I've actually heard in a movie in a couple months. Fear is the greatest weapon in the church's arsenal. That's why we invented hell. I was like, that damn okay. I was like, that's a hell of a line.
Which, by the way, is
F. Murray Abraham. Yeah.
Which I didn't even know he was in that movie. Which he could phone it in and still do a good job.
Yeah, and
which he does.
Yeah, and he was funny in here. He plays a cardinal. But yeah, he was funny in here, and yet still one of the best probably the best delivery line in the movie, honestly. And he was creepy too, Sheriff Nottingham. I went, okay, this is actually kind of helping. But so because this will be on my top 10 worst of, and it'll be in that spot of my number 10, which I'm dedicating this year to something that's so bad it's good. Because dude, I will so buy this when it's like $5. I'll be like, oh yeah, this is like
God.
Like I'll have people over and be like, all right, we're gonna roast Robin Hood because it's terrible. It is a really like bad doesn't even get express how bad this film is, and there's a reason why it's just been getting trashed as well. It should, honestly, for how bad this is. I'll be kind and not give it a go fuck yourself, which I probably should on principle, but I'll give a grade I've only given, I think, one other time on this podcast. I will give it an F- because it's horrible, but I had fun with it, and I did laugh. By the way, guys, if you can ever get OJ to somehow watch this again, his reactions during it enhanced the movie for me. It was like THX sound or whatever.
Man.
I was like, yeah, it's even funnier.
Oh man.
Yeah. So yeah, F- for me. But what you got, sir?
Well, before I give my grade,
Yeah.
I just want to say like the good takeaway for me, which is why I will not give it a go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Is the sheriff.
Yeah.
Because he was the villain in Ready Player One.
Yeah. He was
He
good
was
in
the
that.
villain in Rogue One.
Great in that too. Yeah.
Like, this kind of role really works well for him.
Yeah.
And I enjoy seeing him on screen, so I can't just straight up give it a go fuck yourself.
That's fair.
But it does kind of cap off an interesting run. I'm curious where he goes next. But in terms of another role. But I give it an F- as well, man.
Yeah.
This movie was dog shit. Grade A, man. Like,
Oh man, so good. So good.
I have no desire to ever see this movie ever again.
Would you watch Suicide Squad before you watch this?
That's a good question.
Right. Good.
I'm thinking about that. I'm giving this some thought. I'll come up with an answer. We'll come back to that.
All right. Fair enough. Because, dude, someone mentioned Suicide Squad the other day. My hand twitched. I was like, oh, that's right.
After we get through Creed, I'll have it figured out.
Yeah. Oh God, that is a really bad movie. I do hate. I hate me some Suicide Squad.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah. Hopefully the second one's better. If James Gunn actually makes Suicide Squad 2, it can't be worse than the last one. If they've learned anything, which I hope they have, just no Joker, or a different Joker. Hell, give Joaquin Phoenix some aging makeup and have him be Joker in that age. That's what I would do.
It's not a bad idea.
Like, honestly, at this point, fuck it. They might as well just go, hey, look over there. Oh, Jared Leto's been replaced with Joaquin Phoenix. Who cares? That'd be way better.
It really would.
But anyways, guys, have you seen? Because I've talked to some people who've seen Robin Hood, and shockingly, they were not fans of it. So
it's like the couple we ran into outside the theater. Like, oh, so did you like it? No. That was not good.
yeah, so we're leaving the theater. We just gotten out. And this couple is like, oh, we got Jez and Robin Hood, and OJ still there is starting to have the PTSD flashbacks. He's like, and this couple's like, oh, how was it? And I'm like, yeah, it wasn't that good. OJ didn't hold back. He was like, it sucks.
Yeah, it does. I'm just gonna say, I think it's very ironic that the best movie about Robin Hood is the movie that's a parody.
Yeah.
Men in Tights is still the best Robin Hood movie, and that's a shame.
Yeah. it's.
I mean, I'm not saying because I love Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Like, do not misunderstand me. But you would figure that this kind of character would be easy to put on screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
But I guess
agree.
It's kind of like the Lone Ranger. Like, I don't know. Like,
That's a good comparison. Yeah. I mean, I will say, ooh, I did hate the Lone Ranger. Ooh, I don't know if I've ever seen this for Lone Ranger. I think I'd rather watch this instead of Lone Ranger.
really? I haven't seen the Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger was almost 3 hours though. Too.
Oh god.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, Lone Ranger was rough.
Yikes.
I actually had to start it 4 different times to actually get through it. I could not get through it in one screening.
I'm glad I haven't seen that.
Yeah, Lone Ranger's rough. It's real. It's a very not good film. It's worse than this.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's worse than this.
Damn, because I like Gore Verbinski pretty well overall.
I do too.
Rango's one of my favorites, man. I
Oh,
love Rango.
which is why I was so sad that this wasn't better because
Right.
I love Rango so much. But yeah,
I hope we get a sequel to that one day.
to Rango.
Hell yeah,
Dude.
to Rango.
I think Johnny Depp should stop doing live action stuff and just voice that lizard or gecko, whatever it was, because Rango was great and it made money too.
It did.
But yeah, for whatever reason, Johnny Depp wants to be Grindelwald and make everyone super happy.
Well, he's done with the good captain, as it were. So
Yeah, which I'm totally okay with because I haven't liked the Pirates movie and it's been a minute. Even though the only reason I like the fourth one is because of Ian McShane because he's Blackbeard and that's wonderful. And Penelope Cruz is in it, and so they're like,
hey, I fell asleep during that one.
yeah. Oh no, it's not good. Like
It's not good.
Pretty much, and I fully admit it was like whenever Penelope Cruz is on, oh man, she's hot, and then whenever Ian McShane's on, I was like, oh, there's someone who's hot and can act, and then oh yeah, and there's like scary mermaids. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like how mermaids actually are, not like Ariel. Or it's like, oh, mermaids are great. It's like no, mermaids will eat your ass. like
Mermaids will eat your
seriously.
ass.
It's like read some fairy tales. Mermaids are fucking mean.
Yeah.
People are like, no, they're so cute. I'm like, no, actually, they will fuck your life up. But I married a mermaid. I don't know, but God, Robin Hood. It might be higher on my worst of them. I'm thinking about. Like,
Dude, it's bad.
like-
It's really bad. I can't get over how bad that was. Like this is a movie where the parts that are good do not make up for the many sins it commits.
Yeah, that's true. This is a very flawed movie. As I said, and I was going to say it on the podcast yesterday to end it. Robin Hood misses the mark.
Yes, he does.
There you go. But
Where was the archery tournament? Damn it!
yeah, seriously. Yeah, man, I was begging for that fox to show up. I was like, come on. Give me, if a shoe and the fox had popped up, but okay.
Shoe.
If a shoe and the fox was roll, hey, what's up, guys? Then it goes up to a C minus.
I would even say Carrie Elways as well. 2 Robin
Oh,
Hoods
yeah.
are better than one.
Yeah, well, I mean, those two are better than this one.
Oh my god, dude.
to say the least.
Get even Russell Crowe in there, making movies, singing songs, fighting around the world.
God, Russell Crowe was not good as Robin Hood.
Oh, dude, it was better than this.
I don't know.
I think it was.
I will say I haven't seen that one in a while, but I saw that. Me and this girl I was seeing at the time, we went and saw it. I remember I just left the theater, and she was like, "Oh my god, that was so good." I was like, "Cool, I'm never talking to you again because you have shit taste in film."
Do not misunderstand me. I'm not saying it's a good movie.
Okay, no, that's
I'm
fair.
saying it's better than this.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I mean, it's like, what would you rather do? Get kicked in the balls or punched in the balls? It's like they're both terrible options. Do I really need to pick either one? Yep, cool. So either way, I'm gonna be miserable. It's you know what though? I think you could make Robin Hood a really good BBC show. I think you could do that. I think you could do that. I think you could actually tell a really good Robin Hood story over like an 8 episode miniseries.
Yeah, I can definitely see how I can agree with that.
But yeah, just don't seriously. No more Robin Hood movies. Just leave it alone, because
If Amazon hadn't gone all in on Lord of the Rings. That would have been, I think, an easy pickup for them.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point.
But I mean, they've got a lot of money tied up with Lord of the
Yes,
Rings.
they do.
And I mean, wasn't Jack Ryan a hit?
Yes, it was. They already announced season 2.
So I mean, that I can imagine that's not cheap to make either.
Yeah, no.
So I mean, maybe Netflix. I mean, Netflix is really pouring out the original content these days. But
and deleting all the Marvel content.
yeah, yeah.
Rest in peace, Daredevil. Sorry.
No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you'd figure some subscription channel would make something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, BBC is a natural fit for it, but I think someone else with a bit more money could.
I mean, HBO is gonna be looking for something. I know they're doing the Game of Thrones like prequels, but dude, you could sell that as like a Sunday night thing. Like you got your Westworld and you got your. That'd be a hell of a lineup. Like Robin Hood 7, Westworld 8, Game of Thrones spinoff 9. I'd watch that. That'd be my Sunday night. Like.
Well, they try to spread it out over the course of the year, so there's always one of those must-see shows going, so the subscriptions stay up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, HBO would be a good one. It doesn't even need the biggest budget, just I think a bigger budget than BBC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Homeland is ending on Showtime. Maybe they.
Yeah, maybe Showtime would be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get in that Game of Thrones sort of
Right.
Time frame, whatever. Yeah, I mean. Who knows? But yeah, no more Robin Hood movies. Like this is I never want to see another Robin Hood movie for at least
10 years.
Yeah, I think 10 years is about a good enough point for me to go. Okay, I kind of want to see another Robin Hood movie, because I think back to this and I think about that Pan movie they put out like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I hated that movie so much. That's still one of my favorite reviews. If you haven't listened to that review, go check that one out. But
have you ever seen Prince of Thieves?
Prince of Thieves.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves with Kevin Costner.
I actually like that one. I don't love it. But
It's got some fairly okay points. It's just I'm just not the world's biggest Kevin Costner fan. I really like the supporting cast a bit more.
Okay.
But
I'd probably give like a C+, probably.
And Christian Slater. Oh yeah, I forgot he's in it.
He's great on Mr. Robot though. He is.
Okay.
Because he won a Golden Globe for it.
No shit.
Yeah. No, I think he won the Emmy too. Like, cause I was shocked. I was like, Christian Slater. And I was like, he's still around.
Slater.
So I actually went back and started watching Mr. Robot because he won. I went, he's really fucking good in this.
All right.
I was shocked. Trust me, I'm not like Christian Slater. I'm like, oh yeah, Christian Slater. Like someone's like, hey, you remember Screech? Who's Screech? Oh, that guy.
That kid.
Yeah, that kid who made that apparently weird porno tape, which apparently is a thing. Yeah.
I mean, his name screams porn.
What was it?
Dustin Diamond.
Oh yeah, that is a porn sounding name.
It really is.
Dustin Diamond. Damn. The King of Diamonds. I mean,
Dustin Waka Chicken Diamond.
God, that's ridiculous. But guys, have you seen Robin Hood? If you were dumb enough to, please let us know what you thought in the comments below. You can follow The Real Pineapple on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Google Play Music at The Real Pineapple. OJ, where can they find the KJ and OJ podcast?
You can find us at SoundCloud. It's On the Fly with KJ and OJ. You can find us at Twitter at KJ and OJ. That's KJANDOJ. Mine is at original_James. And yeah, do check us out, and we'll definitely be around.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll have a review up here for Creed 2, 8th grade. And then just understand, guys, December is going to be a very insane month. I've got a good amount of films here on my desk I need to watch, so you'll be getting probably reviews every day in December. And we will be reviewing Die Hard this month because we're talking about our favorite Christmas movie. Die Hard's great. But guys, thank you so much for listening. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.